Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Tyler, and I just want to use this video to kind of give you an introduction to my channel, what I'm about, who I am, and where we're going to go from here. So, I am 33 years old. I am a truck driver. I am a husband and father to 6 children, ranging from 14 years old all the way down to 2 years old. So at my heaviest, I topped out at 535 pounds. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm currently at 411 pounds, which is quite a difference. That's taken probably a good 5 years to get to that point. A lot of it was some fad dieting, so to speak. Some of it was calorie counting. Some of it was fasting. Mix of it all, but the number one thing that happened with all of that was I rebounded. I would lose some weight and I would gain it back pretty quick. I have a tendency to, once I lose weight, gain it back, and when I gain it back, I gain it back fast. But what I've been doing recently has been, it's not been fast, but it has been steady. And I haven't gained any of the weight back. And it's not a lot of weight that I have lost recently, but to lose it steadily and to keep it off for me is a win. And so that's what I'll be sharing with you. So before I share that with you, I kind of want to give a little backstory kind of on myself and to show, to kind of explain my struggle with weight through the years, because I was never always this big, and obviously I was never always 535 pounds. As a kid, I was a very skinny kid. I was normal size. Actually, I remember my mother telling me that the doctors were worried that I was never going to gain enough weight. I would always be a short, skinny kid. And then came about mid-elementary school. And it's about the time, probably around the 4th or 5th grade, is when I started to notice that I started to put on a little more weight. Even then, I was still a very active kid. Always riding bikes around, always running around playing, climbing trees, stuff like that. I was very active as a kid. But into my teenage years, though, I started to gain weight and I ended high school probably around the 260 to 280 pound range. That's about how much I weighed when I graduated high school, and that was in 2009. Sorry, I have notes off to the side here to help keep me on track. But let's see, 2009, I graduated and I was around 260 to 280, somewhere in there. But I got married in 2010 and was probably, again, I never really kept track of my weight, but I would check my weight probably once or twice a year. But I was probably somewhere in the 340 pound range. Gained almost 100 pounds in about a year, right after high school. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of weight to put on very quickly in 1 year. Fast forward to somewhat of the present. In 2020, again, I said that, we have 6 children now, but in 2020 we had, oh gosh, 5 children. We had 5 children at the time. But my youngest, Micah, he unfortunately passed away in 2020, which sent me to a very big depression. At the time, that was my highest weight, around at 535 pounds. And with that kind of depression, you would expect and kind of know that you lose your appetite. At least I did. I lost my appetite, my will to eat. I went from 530 pounds down to, I think 490 in a very short space, probably within a week or two. And so but then the appetite came back, kind of was pulled out of that depression a little bit. But then that's where it kind of all started, where I was like, I really want and need to start losing weight and enter in fasting. So with fasting, I started, and my first few days of fasting, I did a water fast, and I went from 490 pounds down to 470 pounds. Within ballpark. Again, I didn't really keep track of it all too much. I didn't write it down or anything, but that's the ballpark is, and that lasted 4 days. I just didn't eat anything. I drank water. I took a little bit of salt in, which was hard for me to do. But yeah, lost 20 pounds in 4 days. Now, a lot of it was some water weight, but a lot of it stayed off. I stayed in I never went back up to 490 from there. It was stayed around the mid 470s after that. So I only gained a couple pounds back. Mostly probably water. And some fat. And when you fast, you lose all the food in your digestive system. So after eating, you some of that sticks around a little bit. So there's that. Other times I've done was counted calories. I've tried the keto diet. Actually, at one point, I even went like vegetarian and / vegan or fruitarian. Which only lasted a few days too, and never went back to any of those. They just never really worked for me. Really, the only thing that's worked for me is basically intermittent fasting. So for me now, where I'm at, again, I'm currently at 411. I started at 425 recently. So we're looking at, if I can math, 14 pounds. 14 pounds. But I've been able to keep it off. And intermittent fasting has been the way to do that for me. Specifically, 1 meal a day. A lot of people call it OMAD for short. But for me, that's what's really been helping. And so what I'm doing with that is I am, based on my schedule, because my schedule's weird. It's not a typical, daytime schedule. And then, you're home and sleeping at night. It's weird as a truck driver, as a local truck driver. It's weird. But for me, I just pick a time that I'm going to eat, usually about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour before I go to work. And I'll just eat a normal meal, whatever it is. It's just one plate. Fill up the plate, eat it. It could be sandwiches. It could be, some kind of stews or whatever it is. It could be anything. I'm not really restricting myself with what I eat or even how much I eat on that one plate, as long as it's just one plate of food. My drinks, water, zero sugar sodas. I'm a big energy drink guy, so like low calorie or 0 calorie energy drinks. I know a lot of people, they say with like intermittent fasting or any kind of fasting that those kind of drinks will mess you up or throw you out of the fast. I haven't found that it does, and I found that it helps keep me sane while I am in the process of fasting, while I'm waiting. And yes, you can say, well, you don't need that. You don't really need the sodas or the energy drinks. You should stay away from them. My view on it is you're not putting any extra calories in your body, and it helps keep you sane and get you through it. If that's fine and it keeps you and you're continually losing weight, hey, great. the point isn't to necessarily just be hard fast. The whole point is you're fasting, yes, but are you losing weight? The whole point of that is to be losing weight. And if the scale is trending downward, and this is something that has taken me a long time to learn, because I would beat myself up bad. I would beat myself up horribly if I messed up just a little bit. I'd be like, all right, we're just going to throw it all out the window. We're done. I'm a failure. I screwed up. And I'd go on a bender, basically, a food bender, because I screwed up a little bit. But my view on it now is, especially if it's a drink, right? If it's zero sugar or something like that, and it helps get you through that point in your fast where you're not going crazy because you're craving something, and the scale is continually trending downwards, you're fine. As long as you're making progress along the way, you're fine. And that's what it took a long time for me to learn, is that it's okay to mess up. Sometimes I'll drink regular sodas even, and then I'll just get back to water or another drink. I don't beat myself up anymore over it. So yeah, but I do that 6 days a week, right? 6 days a week, I just have a normal meal, once a day. But there's one day a week I don't really restrict myself. Now, I don't go out and gorge myself. Compared to what I'm eating throughout the week, it looks like I'd be gorging myself. But I don't really restrict myself. I let myself enjoy it, and that be it. If I have 2 meals that day, fine. If I have 3 meals, fine. If I have 3 meals and a bunch of snacks, hey, that's fine. Because I've learned over time that one day is not going to set me back an entire week of progress. Because with intermittent fasting is so wonderful in that you're doing so well throughout the week. You're making all this progress that if you mess up a little bit, it's not going to really hurt you. And so I leave myself one day a week to, I wouldn't say pig out, but just have a normal meal. Multiple normal meals, like a normal person. And especially intermittent fasting throughout the week like that, where you have one meal a day, you get used to having that one meal a day where you're not going to really go out and gorge yourself and pig out on everything in sight. But then with going through that week, at least for me, with going through that week, you're training yourself to just kind of eat less. And on those days where I have multiple meals, I'm not eating as much on those meals. Even though they're multiple meals. But that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm at. I'm not a doctor. I'm not some health coach. I'm not some health guru who has all the answers. I'm just a regular guy who just wants to share his journey and progress along the way, and maybe find inspiration from some of you guys out there. If you drop a comment, and kind of share how if you have any experience with intermittent fasting, maybe some tips that can help me, can help others. I want to leave it a good space, a good community, maybe to grow. If it evolves into that. But yeah, so I'm gonna probably be posting 2 or 3 times a week. I'm gonna do a weekly weigh-in every Sunday. Every Sunday, I'm gonna do a weekly weigh-in, and just to help keep me accountable, to show my progress and stuff like that, and to show that it's not fast. It's not gonna be super fast. Could be if I ate 100% clean, or probably strictly drank just water or other things, but that some progress is better than no progress, and that as long as it's continually, the scale is trending downwards, it'll get there. So yeah, a couple times a week I'll be posting kind of my meals. I kind of want to post just a quick snippet of what I'm eating and maybe the calories and stuff behind it. 2-3 times a week, something like that. We'll see. But thank you for watching this video, and I really like if you if as I post, if you check them out and see, and if anybody's leaves a comment, I'll do my best to answer the comment or engage in it, and maybe this grows into something bigger, maybe not, who knows. But either way, the videos are going to be there. So yeah, you all have a lovely day.